Great to be here.
By the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us today, Jeff Salasinski, Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, want to talk about employee benefits today. R&R Insurance provides those benefits for all of us here at Good Karma Brands. Great program. What does the view look like from your desk right now as it relates to employee benefits?
Hi, Vince. Great to be here again. This is the busy season for HR professionals as they look at options for 2025. This market is really being defined by a couple of key factors. Persistent inflation and high cost of prescription drugs and specialty drugs are causing prices to rise yet again for buyers. Late communication or no communication from your agent or broker can leave organizations with limited options.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, poor service or no service. How can a business owner or HR professional deal with that?
Very simply, Vince, make a call to R&R and see how we can analyze and transform your employee benefits plan. Buyers should be using data to understand how their plan is performing and comparing those results against industry benchmarks, while also collaborating with their benefits insurance professional to build a strategy and benefit plan that's comprehensive and cost-effective at the same time. The plan needs to be supported by a strong, comprehensive rollout and service strategy centered around the education of your employees. Don't get caught off guard by a big increase without an intelligent explanation and no time to act.
So why, Jeff, should a business work with R&R Insurance?
We help employers brand their benefits package in a customized, easy-to-understand fashion, taking out the complex and confusing nature of shopping for health insurance. More importantly, we'll manage and provide as much support as you need for an open enrollment process and beyond.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
I'm Dave Sager. I'm the chairman of Bethlehem Evangelical Lutheran Church and School. In 1998, we made a decision to buy some property in Germantown. It was always the mindset. Someday, we would build a church on that property. Horicon Bank bent over backwards for us repeatedly. I can't tell you how many times I reached out to Michelle on a Saturday, on a Sunday. Can you help me out? And it would not be possible without Horicon Bank and Catalyst Construction. Just amazing individuals, and it's all family.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris catch up with Buck Beat reporter Eric Name. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, October 21st. Your top story, only 16 days left to campaign.
I'm Adam Roberts in for Jessica Ty. Preliminary findings into the assassination attempt.
Mostly sunny, warm today. Out of character, 79 degrees, your high. Breezy conditions, partly cloudy and mild tonight, a low of 56. Cloudy tomorrow, spotty shower chance, breezy and a high of 72. 67 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:01 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. Decision, Wisconsin. Southeast Wisconsin seeing a series of campaign stops continuing today.
The spotlight is on Waukesha County after Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance rallied Catholic voters at Stein's Aircraft Services in Waukesha on Sunday. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris will visit Brookfield. She'll be joined by former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney once again after the pair campaigned in Ripon earlier this month. Tonight's event starts at 7. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
And the fun doesn't stop today. Tomorrow, Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz will rally in Racine, delivering remarks around 6:45 at an unknown location. The stop will follow an afternoon event with former President Barack Obama in Madison around 1:30. Those two rallies coming on the first day of early voting in Wisconsin, which kicks off tomorrow.
A lack of planning and a communications breakdown by the Secret Service nearly led to the assassination of Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. The House Task Force is detailing in its preliminary findings and the security failures in the days leading up to the rally. News Nation's Alina Shirazi.
The 53-page report, as we read through it, it's organized by 8 findings. The main points here that there was inadequate planning and coordination before the rally on July 13th, 2024. Also, that Secret Service, quote, did not give clear guidance to the relevant state and local agencies about managing areas outside the secure event parameter, including the AGR complex and building where the 20-year-old shooter Thomas Matthew Crooks staged his attack. Much of that report focuses on that area.
It found state and local law enforcement did not have enough personnel to cover the complex, and those posted near it didn't have complete visual coverage of the area. A full report is expected to be available by December 13th.
Today is the day of the Holt Avenue Park and Ride on Milwaukee's South Side's closure, with several homeless people living in tents and RVs at the encampment now having to find another place to live. The Department of Transportation says an increase in crime and drug activity is leading to the closure of the Holt Avenue lot, as well as the northeast and portions of the southwest College Avenue Park and Rides. Cops stationed outside the Holt lot today only allowing people in to retrieve their belongings. A small area of the southwest College Avenue lot will remain open to serve transit riders. We'll dig more into the story around 11:45 here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. The Dow currently down about 323 points at 42,952. NASDAQ off about 25 points today at 18,463. And the S&P 500 lagging about 25 points at 5840. Financial planning at every level. It's Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are on the way next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Times 11:04.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often, because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
It's bird bashing season when you swoop into Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to a wicked 50 grand cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card all October for entries. All Bird Bash entries go towards a December 20th giveaway with a monstrous 300 grand in prizes. Bird Bash makes its bewitching return. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at paysbig.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers are 5-2 after Sunday's 24-22 win over the Texans.
He's got this to win it. Low snap, the kick. It is good.
Jim Nantz on the call for CBS. The third straight victory for the Packers. They head to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars on Sunday. Lions and Vikings are both 5-1. World Series begins Friday in Los Angeles with the Dodgers taking on the Yankees. And according to ESPN, Milwaukee Bucks forward Chris Middleton expected to miss Wednesday's regular season opener against the 76ers as he continues to rehab from off-season ankle surgeries.
Let's check the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Handful of incidents across the system right now. Most notable is we've got a crash right now right near the airport spur on 94 South heading to Highway 119. It's got the left shoulder blocked due to a crash at that location. Looks like it right now is right on that yellow line. So if you are headed out towards the airport, be mindful. It's going to be right on that left shoulder. Multiple squad cars tending to the crash at this time. Elsewhere, just a couple of broken down vehicles. Looks like one on 894 East right near 76th Street, and also one on 94 West right around Highway 100 on the left shoulder.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
While you're navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line. 414-238-9329.
Sunny, breezy, and warm today. A high of 79 degrees. Mostly sunny. Spotty shower chance tomorrow. Breezy and a high of 72. Cooling off a little bit on Wednesday. Partly cloudy, breezy with a high of 62. Upper 50s, your high on Thursday. Back to the mid-60s on Friday. Slight chances of rain kind of throughout the week here. We'll get a detailed update from Tyler Moore coming up in about 15 minutes. It's 64 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Here's Greg Matzik.
And Adam Robertson for Jessica Ty today and tomorrow. Jessica enjoying a little bit of an extended weekend. What a great weekend it was, by the way.
Ooh, yeah.
You had great football. You had a lot of pumpkins in the pumpkin patches being bought. You had a wonderful fall weather, really more like summer weather, but in the fall, the explosion of color, bright blue skies. That's a great one.
Yeah, I don't really think fall exists other than the foliage at this point anymore. We basically just have summer and summer junior before we get into around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, a little bit of rain in the forecast today. We'll get an update from Tyler Moore coming up in just a few minutes. Some big stories that we're following here at 11:09.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
And number one, Adam, 15 days until the election. It's a busy time in battleground states, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Lots of attention from the top of the ticket, as you might expect. Vice President Harris hitting all 3 states today. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers with a preview.
Vice President Harris is holding events in the so-called blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, 3 battlegrounds that are key to a Democratic victory. She'll be joined by former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney for a series of conversations, part of an effort to reach out to independents and Republicans and peel them away from former President Donald Trump. Cheney campaigned with Harris earlier this month in Wisconsin, telling the crowd that this year will mark the first time she's cast her vote for a Democrat in a presidential election. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Harris expected to arrive in Milwaukee about 5:50 Central Time this evening, then make her way to Brookfield for an event scheduled to begin at 7 o'clock.
And Greg, Vice President Harris, not the only one touting on the campaign trail this week. Former President Donald Trump scheduled to host a rally this afternoon in North Carolina. And this comes after he spent some time in Pennsylvania over the weekend. He was in attendance at last night's Steelers-Jets game at the place formerly known as Heinz Field, now Acrisure Stadium. Trump, before then, though, was posted up at a fast food restaurant. Here's ABC's Perry Russell.
Trump visiting a McDonald's, wearing an apron, working the fry station.
We got the salt on it.
Trump taking questions of the fast food chain where the average worker makes $13 to $15 an hour.
These people work hard. They're great. And I just saw something, a process that's beautiful.
The restaurant was closed to the public.
There'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay? 2024.
The Secret Service screening the people Trump served.
Is that something? You just roll into the drive-thru, getting your Big Mac and fries, and there's the former president handing you, and yes, there is in fact salt on these fries.
Yeah,
wow,
free
how about
Big
that?
Macs. Yeah, free Big Mac or whatever you ordered, it was on Trump.
And J.D. Vance also spending some Sunday out and about. He was bartending at Kroll's and also up in Green Bay watching the Packers and the Texans at a watch party right near Lambeau Field. Then finished the day, of course, as we mentioned in the news, in Waukesha, where he was working to earn the vote of Catholics.
Speaking of the Packers, they've now won 3 straight after a comeback win over the Houston Texans on Sunday.
He's got this to win it. Low snap, the kick. It is good.
Jim Nance with the call on CBS. Kicker Brandon McManus joined the Packers on Wednesday, ended up kicking a game winner 45-yard field goal as time expired to boost the Packers to 5-2. Jordan Love engineering an 8-play drive to put McManus in position to win it. 3 first-half turnovers for the Packers that led to 16 points for the Texans. Wasn't always pretty, but Packers got the job done.
It's hard to overcome losing the turnover battle by 3 in this league. I don't know if we've ever done that and still come out and find a way to win the game.
Said Coach Matt LaFleur. The Packers travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars on Sunday. What a beautiful day for a game, too.
Oh, absolutely. And I do worry, though, about that Jacksonville game. Jaguars not exactly lighting the world on fire. And right after a emotional win with a game winner over a really good Texans team, you do wonder. I don't like using the phrase trap game, especially in the NFL where it's not college. We don't use that phrase, but it kind of has the inklings of it a little bit.
And Jacksonville has spent more time in London this month than they have in Jacksonville.
What's all that about?
Yeah, have had a 2-week stint in London playing games overseas. 11:13 on WTMJ. Jim Ryan of ABC joins us coming up next. A death row inmate testimony today. Last week, we thought he was going to be executed. The man is still alive. How did this happen? Jim breaks it down after this.
Gruber Law Offices presents Thanalysis.
Republic of Congo.
Yes, sir.
And Spain.
A podcast from Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
Serge Ibaka.
Yes, sir. Also supported by Carbless, premium ready-to-drink cocktails.
One of the best chefs in the world.
And Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee.
Only way to get me, you have to come to Paris.
Subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about Accunet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
When you walk into your bathroom, is it turn this into this? With our SiteX Creepiest Tub or Shower Contest. Enter a picture of your creepy tub or shower space at WTMJ.com for a chance to win a brand new complete tub or shower conversion installed at no cost, up to a $10,000 value. Enter your picture by texting creepy to the WTMJ talk and text line. It's the Creepiest Shower Contest, only here on WTMJ.
Nice day today, breezy and warm with a high of 79 degrees. Should be pretty clear overnight. Some clouds roll into tomorrow. Still a high of 71. We do cool off, though, as the week goes on. We're at a high of 59 on Thursday. Slight chance of rain in the forecast. Not so much today, but more so tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. It's 65 degrees and mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 11:16. Well, last week we gave you an update on a very interesting case in Texas where Robert Robertson, who's been jailed for more than 2 decades, was set to meet an executioner's needle. This goes back to the alleged murder of his then 2-year-old daughter. Prosecutors allege that Robertson shook his baby girl to death. But just before his execution, this death row inmate's life was spared. How did we get to this point? We welcome in ABC's Jim Ryan. And not only is Robertson still alive, but he is back on the stand today.
Yeah, well, it's not a new trial that he's looking at now. This is strictly a legislative matter. So, yes, he had been convicted of killing his own daughter by violently shaking her in 2002. Robert Robertson was questioned by detectives then. They decided that this shaken baby incident had happened. They went to a grand jury. The grand jury true-billed him. He was convicted and sent to death row. But in the intervening time, the concept of shaken baby syndrome has been discredited largely by science. science. There have been people exonerated after they'd been convicted of shaken baby homicides. Not Robbie Robertson. He's been sitting there on death row. And yet lots of lawmakers of both parties have come to his defense. They say he deserves a new trial. So on Wednesday, the day before the scheduled execution, the Texas House Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence met and talked about the case. There's something called the junk science law here in Texas, passed in 2013, which gives convicts an avenue to appeal their cases or to bring their cases back before review if they were convicted based on, quote, junk science like shaken baby syndrome. You know, obviously it's not a good idea to shake a baby, but it can't be used as evidence at a criminal trial. So on Wednesday, the Texas Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence met to talk about the junk science law and eventually voted to subpoena Robert Robertson to testify today, Monday. Okay, they went back and forth all day Thursday on execution day. And finally, the Texas Supreme Court said, he can't be executed and testify. So let's put off the execution. We'll allow him to answer the subpoena and testify before this Texas House Committee on Monday. That's where the case stands right now, Greg.
Jim, these last-second reprieves when it comes to death row and execution, we see it in movies and TV all the time. How common is it for this to come down to the last possible second like this one did?
In Texas, not very. Normally, these things are almost a matter of course, and his would have been like that as well, Adam. He has, he's had previous execution dates set, but there have been reviews of his case that were ordered. His attorneys fought against having his execution. Part of the issue is that he's autistic. That played into the initial arrest. Detectives who were questioning him about the death of his daughter said that he just didn't show any emotion at all, certainly not the emotion that a person who just lost his daughter would show. And so that was part of their investigation and part of their thinking he must have done something here. So, this is a crazy, unusual case. Now, what happens after today? So he comes and he testifies before this Texas House Committee. Texas House Committee is a legislative body. It doesn't have judicial authority to order a new trial or to review the case, but it's certainly the members of that committee hope that a judge or a court somewhere here in Texas says, yeah, we probably should review this case. Or, on the other hand, the prosecutors out in East Texas, where the case originally came from, they're still standing by the conviction. And they say, you know what? They could go ahead and just reset the execution date for some, next month, next year sometime, could put him back on death row.
Well, how much credence do the prosecutors have when the lead detective on the case who originally charged Robertson is now saying he could not have done this?
Yeah, that's one thing they would have to look at. Certainly, the DA's office still stands by it, but one of the key witnesses, the lead detective from the Palestine Police Department, this happened in Palestine, Texas. That lead detective now says, I'm ashamed. I made a mistake. We rushed to judgment, and now an innocent man is sitting on death row. He's one of the biggest supporters of Robert Robertson. He's visited him several times in prison.
This is an absolutely crazy story. So is he fighting again for his life today? Is there something that he must do or must convince people of today that will spare him more opportunities for life?
Well, not really, because technically all he's doing is testifying before the Texas House Committee on Criminal Jurisprudence about the Texas junk science law, which was passed in 2013. That's all he's really testifying about. Yes, he's going to talk about the details of his case. It's certainly a very public airing of his case again, and certainly will probably generate more interest in his conviction, probably more supporters of him, maybe some opponents of him, but we'll see him firsthand testifying today, streaming all over the state.
ABC's Jim Ryan covering a very bizarre story in Texas. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Greg. See you.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Oh, did you watch the game yesterday? Were you thinking to yourself, I'm watching the game, I'm enjoying the game, but What is going on with my TV here? Well,
I know I was, Greg.
Yeah, if you're into that situation, you want to make a contact with Flanners. Adam, I can hand deliver you right to Flanners. I can take you right over there in West Dallas to their showroom, and they can get you back in the game.
Oh, do tell.
Okay, well, Flanners Home Entertainment, the best in the business when it comes to upgrading your home's system. Audio, video, whatever you need. Whole house systems, they can help you out with wiring of all that great stuff, very cool stuff. If you're just up for an upgrade in your television, they can help you with that too. You need a bracket? Good deal. Receiver? Okay. Furniture? You bet. They have that as well. All right there in their beautiful showroom in West Dallas, Grafton, and at Flanners.com. These solutions and installation experts all reside at Flanners, locally owned company, and service is a top priority. Same with the best brands and lowest guaranteed prices. Check out Flanners online at Flanners.com. Again, in West Dallas and Grafton are their showrooms. It's sound advice at the best price. Flanners Home Entertainment. Just press play.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
I know, Mondays and Tuesdays can be a drag, kind of a challenge. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Brighten up your day with a free dinner tonight and witness the spectacular fall colors as you drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Enjoy a brandied New York steak, the delicious ribs, pan-fried walleye, any pasta, even steak and lobster. Your second dinner is always free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, and I love these. Buy one, get one free. Relax with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, 100 wines, ice-cold tap beer. You can see the stunning fall colors from most tables in the 8 unique dining rooms, and your second dinner's free. The Fox and Hounds, just off 167 near Holy Hill. The breathtaking views through the Kettle Moraine Forest and surrounding the Fox and Hounds is a Wisconsin must-see. Check out the patio in the woods. Tables are open tonight. Make a quick call. Reserve your free dinner. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Well, it's a high five, your favorite weather person sort of weekend, and we continue with the great vibes here on Monday, the high of nearly 80 degrees. That is above normal. I don't think I'm going out of my way in saying that. TMJ4 meteorologist Tyler Moore joins us. How high above normal are we here, Tyler?
Yeah, 20 degrees above normal. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Average high temperature today just dropped to 59 degrees. So, yeah, yesterday we hit 80, a chance to do it again today.
Loving it, man. It looked great outside, too. Brilliant blue sky, the orange leaves, red leaves, maples are changing colors, plus you have the summer sort of temperatures. All in all, that was pretty good stuff. But what do we have here coming up this week? I definitely see a cool-off and a chance of rain popping in.
Yeah, we haven't seen rain in a while. I mean, it's been such a mild and sunny stretch of weather. Yes, we had that cool down last week. But yeah, we're going to see these fluctuations in our temperatures, but still a lot of them are hanging above average. So today, like I mentioned, close to 80 this afternoon. Breezy, definitely on the warm side, maybe a couple afternoon clouds. We do have a weak system heading towards us tomorrow. That will bring a small chance for an isolated rain shower for Tuesday. Just a few more areas of clouds, temperatures in the lower 70s. Still, again, well above average. Wednesday, we drop down a little bit more into the lower 60s, partly cloudy. And then I think our best chance of rain will come Thursday during the evening and overnight hours. So Thursday, high temperatures close to average in the upper 50s, and then Thursday night we'll see some of those rain showers. A couple of them could linger into Friday, but I think most of the rain will be through the overnight hours. And then if you want another warm-up, I was just looking at the longer range models here, and it could look like we could see more 70s back in the forecast for the last week of October. So I don't know if you guys are a fan of the 70s and 80s in October or want it cooler. It seems like it's kind of 50-50 for a lot of people this time of year, but But yeah, it's been heat on and then AC on, heat on, then AC on. I don't know. What's your guys' opinion on it?
Well, it just means you don't have to do layers for trick-or-treating. I know I finally took the AC, the window unit, out of our place in Milwaukee yesterday. It's such a chore. We put it off for a while, but are you thinking maybe I got to get that thing back out of the attic and put it back in next week?
No, I think you'll be good. Okay. I mean, it's just 70s is really what we're looking at, so I don't think you're going to need to do that. And our days are so short now that when we do warm up, it's only for a couple hours in the afternoon before that evening cool air kind of settles back in. So, yeah, I just think it's more comfortable temperatures, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm here for it because the temperatures are here, but it's not like it brings about a wild swath of humidity either. It's just nice and warm. It's just comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it's so dry. The air is so dry this time of year. It's really hard to get a lot of that deep tropical moisture back up this far north. So, yeah, it's just warm and dry air, and it's just leading to a lot of that sunshine, too. So we'll take it.
All good. Appreciate it, Tyler. Thanks. We'll check in again later this week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good week.
You bet. It's 11:27 on WTMJ, bottom of the hour headlines, and national news from ABC after this.
Why settle for just the job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee new car dealer members have service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this fall? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from Three Pillars resident Lola.
I had seen a lot of retirement places. In a minute, I drove into the driveway coming into Three Pillars. I was sold. The grounds are just beautiful. The management are just incredibly kind people. That mood permeates the atmosphere to me, whether it's the staff, the people that serve it in the restaurant, and the residents themselves. It's just a lot of caring, kind people.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Approaching 11:30, I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It is Monday, October 21st. Your top story, charges set in a flag football shooting.
I'm Adam Roberts. A Southside Milwaukee Walgreens closes ahead of schedule.
Well, enjoy the day today. Mostly sunny, very warm, breezy, and a high of 79. A lot of sun out there today. Partly cloudy tonight. Mild temperatures down to 56. We're back in the 70s on Tuesday with mostly cloudy skies. Spotty chance for a shower. That would be very much isolated. Breezy conditions and a high of 72. We start to drop a little bit on Wednesday with a high of only 64 degrees. By Thursday, a high of only 59 and a decent chance of some rain popping in Thursday night, according to Tyler Moore. But all in all, great start here to the week. Temperatures remaining well above normal for this time of the year. 71 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:30.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The end of the campaign trail is in sight.
15 days to go now, and the Harris campaign is dialing everything up, doing more events, hitting more battlegrounds. Now, today, she's hitting all three of those critical blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. She'll be out with Liz Cheney. The final sprint now on.
ABC Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce, former President Trump in Asheville, North Carolina today, seeing recovery efforts after Hurricane Helene. A helicopter tragedy in Texas. The chopper hit a radio tower before crashing to the ground. In a Houston neighborhood, 4 people were killed, including a child. No one hurt on the ground. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is in Ukraine to meet with leaders and reiterate U.S. support in its war with Russia. The union representing more than 30,000 striking machinists says a tentative deal has been reached with Boeing. Union members still have to ratify the deal before they return to work at the embattled aircraft manufacturer. The vote is set to be held on Wednesday. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 11:31.
Felony charges after a death at a flag football game. 30-year-old Gavino Avalos Morales of Milwaukee made his first appearance in court today, facing 1-degree reckless homicide, using a dangerous weapon charges, discharging a firearm in a school zone, and possessing a firearm on school grounds. Charges stem from a shooting during a youth flag football game at South Stadium on October 12th. A 47-year-old man died from gunshot wounds. Cash bond is set for $250,000.
Meanwhile, police in Fond du Lac arrest a man wanted in connection to an early morning shooting on Sunday. A fight happened in the parking lot at the Hopper Silk Screen Printing and Embroidery, police say, which led to a shooting in which a 24-year-old man was injured but is expected to survive. Detectives identified a 52-year-old Fond du Lac man as a person of interest who now faces multiple charges, including first-degree recklessly endangering safety.
An apartment fire in the city of Waukesha displaces multiple people. It happened at a 16-unit building of West Grove Apartment Complex on Kensington Drive near St. Paul Avenue Sunday afternoon. City of Waukesha Fire Department says several units are a total loss. About 100 firefighters from nearby communities responded to the fire. One suffered minor injury related to heat stress. No residents were injured. One cat also died. Another is unaccounted for. The 50-year-old building had a fire alarm system but was not required to have sprinklers. The exact cause of the fire is under investigation. Authorities say Sunday was a high fire risk day with high winds and low humidity.
Overdose deaths are on the way down.
Nationwide, drug overdose deaths fell more than 12.5% in the 12 months ending in May. That according to the CDC. The drop is noticeable in areas of Wisconsin, too. Kenosha County Medical Examiner Patty Hall told a county committee hearing last week,
our autopsy numbers have actually gone down significantly.
What's the reasoning? Well, Kenosha County Public Health Director Lori Plamer credits Narcan.
One of the elements to the decrease in overdoses was a significant saturation of Narcan.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The Kenosha News reports the number of autopsies in the county next year is also expected to decrease.
Well, the Milwaukee Walgreens location at Layton Boulevard and National on the city's south side has abruptly closed its doors despite earlier plans to stay open until November 3rd. Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa says she was told by the company the decision was made Friday in response to an uptick in crime at the location, though the drive-thru remains open for service. The location, notable as it was the site of an incident in 2018 involving then Bucks guard Sterling Brown, who had parked across multiple handicap spaces in the parking lot and was ultimately tased and thrown to the ground. Walgreens was never accused of any wrongdoing in that incident.
A key step for the Dome's Reimagined project coming up this week. The county's Committee on Finance will gather Friday for a budget meeting where Supervisor Juan Miguel Martinez, who oversees the district the Mitchell Park Domes are in, is telling the Milwaukee Business Journal he plans to introduce a resolution supporting the project. The Friends of the Dome's asking for $30 million from the county over the next 6 years, which the county would not start paying until the next budget cycle. A vote from the full Board of Supervisors could happen as soon as next Monday.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Admit it, you've been dealing with achy joint pain for so long. It's been so long you don't even remember when it started, when you used to feel good. You do the daily doses of medication, which basically just a Band-Aid. You've done the steroid shots, and it just doesn't last, and God knows what the long-term effects are. So let's talk real lasting relief. It is possible with the help from QC Kinetics. People in Milwaukee are reducing the inflammation, getting the mobility back, and most importantly, getting their lives back. Just call QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in cellular therapies, using your own body's healing properties. Find out if you're a candidate for regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, cutting-edge treatments that require no surgery, no drugs, and here's the best part, no downtime. You can go right to the office right after a treatment. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Dave from Feldco. Did drafty windows make last winter frigid? Listen, Feldco's here to make things easier for you. It's the perfect time of year to replace those old windows. Right now, get 50% off windows plus no money down and no interest for 1 year. Visit us at 4feldco.com or give us a call at 866-4FELDCO.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4FELDCO.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gerber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers are now 5-2 following Sunday's 24-22 win over the Houston Texans. Win number 3 in a row for the Packers. They'll head to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars on Sunday. Lions get a victory over the Vikings. Both teams are now 5-1. World Series begins Friday in Los Angeles with the Dodgers taking on the Yankees, and it looks like Chris Middleton will not be available for the Bucks when they begin the regular season on Wednesday night in Philadelphia against the 76ers. According to ESPN, Middleton needs more time to rehab from off-season ankle surgeries.
Let's check those roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We had an earlier crash on the airport spur just east of 94 heading towards the airport. That looks like that has been cleared up. Got a fresh broken down vehicle just out of DOT camera view right now on 794. It appears to be on the right shoulder heading north towards the Hone Bridge just past Oklahoma Avenue. Overall, though, the system is looking very good this afternoon, or as we head towards this afternoon, I should say. Just one slow spot's going to be on 894 heading west from about 76th Street over to Forest Home, and the rest of the system looking good late this morning.
Sunny, breezy, warm today, a high of 79 degrees. Comfortable tonight and a low of 56. Clouds start to roll in this evening and should be around tomorrow as well. Still a high of 71 degrees with breezy conditions. 71 and sunny. Beautiful day in Milwaukee at 11:38.
Carlson, the rookie last year. Narveson, the rookie this year. They didn't cut it. They call on the veteran. Just came here on Wednesday. He's got this to win it. Low snap, the kick. It is good.
That's the call from Jim Nantz yesterday. The Packers knock off the Houston Texans. Time for Pack-Yak here on Wisconsin's Midday News. A little recap, 30,000-foot view of the Packers' recent contest. But another win, the whiteout conditions in the stands, not exactly falling from the sky, but nonetheless, a good victory for the Packers. Let's start. Did you dig the uniforms? Do you like the all-white look? I actually kind of did, and I usually don't like that kind of stuff.
Pun intended, I did warm up to them a little bit as the game went on. And you know what? I will give credit to the fans at Lambeau who did show out in white. I know historically, when you tell a fan what to wear, especially at Lambeau Field, you get a little bit of a frosty reaction to that. But the fans did. They played their part, and it looked quite white all around the stadium.
Niz was up there from TMJ4. Scafidi was up there. They were both in white. I swear I saw Steve Scapiti being body passed in the fourth quarter, but he swears it was not him. But, okay, perhaps not. It's kind of a strange game, though, right? You've got the whiteout conditions, the alternate uniforms, the Texans come to town. You're not used to seeing them. It's been a while since they've been to Green Bay. They come in with a record of 5-1, and you're thinking, woo, you're going to have to play pretty good football here, maybe darn near perfect football to beat a first-place team. That was not the case, because the Packers just gave the ball to Houston on 3 occasions in the first half, and Houston turned it into 16 points. You typically don't win games like that over good teams, but the Packers found a way.
Yeah, that was a pretty bumbly first half. Now, Greg, you've covered the Packers for a very long time. I grew up starting to watch the Packers as Favre came into the mold and became the gunslinger we know him as. I will say, as I've watched Jordan Love throw some of these passes, there was, of course, the Tucker Kraft touchdown, which was an absolute laser through coverage into the back of the end zone. I am noticing that Love does kind of like to just say, whatever, just going to throw this and see what happens. We kind of saw that come to play a bit in the first half yesterday.
It's high risk, high reward with Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
It just is, right? Because if for all the ooh and ah plays, you have one that's just kind of a clunker, that'll leave you frustrated. And, you got a couple of that maybe should have been picked off that weren't. But you also have an 8-play drive with time running out, going 44 yards to set up a game-winning field goal. So for everything they battled through yesterday, Love put them in position to win.
Like you said, it's a team win. It's a 4-quarter battle.
It wasn't perfect. Definitely was not perfect. A lot of mistakes. But, we found a way to win, and that's what it's all about. That's what it comes down to is the fourth quarter and finding a way. And that's what we did.
Yeah, there you go. You found a way to win. But when they needed him most, he was on point. And the touchdown passes that he threw were fantastic, right? The third one to Jacobs wasn't really phenomenal in any way, but the one to Kraft and the other to Dontavian Wicks, those are brilliant throws, and he made big throws when he had to in the final drive.
Speaking of that throw to Wicks, the play before was very interesting. So Love throws a pass, basically seems to go straight down the line around the, I think it was about the 35, 36-yard line or something. And we saw DeMeco Ryans, the head coach for the Texans, kind of jumping up and down, almost like he was trying to get attention of someone, but no challenge was ever made. And Gene Steratore on the broadcast said it was close. Do you think they should have thrown the flag?
Yeah, so there was like a little swing pass from Jordan Love to Emmanuel Wilson, and the big question was that behind? Like, did Jordan Love throw that in front of him, or did he throw it behind Emmanuel Wilson, which would have been a fumble?
Right.
And, who knows what would have happened if it had been overturned. Certainly the touchdown would not have occurred on that very next play, as likely Houston takes the ball. But I was a little surprised that there wasn't more of a rush to look at that play. It was an interesting call. To me, I looked at it in a bunch of different angles. It looked like a forward pass to me. Mm-hmm. But in real time, when you're watching that, I could see very easily how it looked like a backward pass.
And you got to give the Packers offense credit for realizing, having the wherewithal to know that, that's kind of close. We might want to maybe rush this up. And it turns out maybe the defense wasn't all that ready for it too, anticipating that challenge, and bingo, 6 points.
So here we are, 7 weeks into the season. The Packers have 5 wins. The Lions and Vikings both also have 5 wins. They've already had their bye weeks, so they're 5-1. The Packers technically a half game back at 5-2. But 7 weeks in, consider that Jordan Love missed 2 games. The Packers still have a top 10 scoring offense. They also, with a new coordinator, have a top 10 scoring defense, which is also important because for all the stat heads out there who may know this, the Packers have never won a Super Bowl, ever, without a top 5 scoring defense. So they've got room to grow here, but they leaned on special teams and defense to win that game. That was critical.
Now we're going to have an opportunity to up that scoring defense, I think, next week when we head over to Jacksonville. But the schedule is very interesting over the next roughly month or so. You've got the Lions at Lambeau on the 3rd, and the Packers have their bye. And then you go to Soldier Field, and the Bears, the Bears, but they're turning heads a little bit this year with that Caleb Williams offense. They are not one to shake your head lightly at. And then it's home against the 49ers, always dangerous, always seem to have a way to sneak up on the Pack, whether it's Kittle, now Purdy. So it's very interesting time period here where you sit, as the Packers do, with a very big opportunity, especially with the division games coming up. You can really make some headway now.
Yeah, so just a couple of noon games left on the schedule here, and of course we've entered the world of flex scheduling, which can bounce any game out of its time slot. I would not look for that to happen for Packers-Jaguars. That's going to stay at noon. But then you've got a 3:25 kick against the Lions, and a noon game in Chicago on the 17th that you talked about, but right now that's scheduled for noon. Possible that could get moved. I've not looked at all the other games. But then you begin this crazy stretch of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row where you're playing either at 3:25 or in prime time. In fact, 4 games in a row will be played in the 7 o'clock hour for kickoff, including that game on Thanksgiving against the Dolphins. So there we go, right? I mean, you're kind of working past the noon part of the schedule into more prime time coverage of the Packers, which we haven't really had at this point.
And the script kind of sets itself. If you want to set yourself up for the team to be like, okay, yes, we do belong in those primetime games, these next 4 are the critical ones to make sure you have a very good record going into them.
No doubt. And looks like the Packers found a kicker, by the way.
I mean, it's huge. It gives you confidence, gives the team confidence, just knowing that we got to get that ball to about that 30-yard line and that he's going to be able to make that kick is huge. And I think he came up big for us tonight.
How about that for a week for Brandon McManus? He comes to Green Bay for a tryout on Tuesday. He ends up signing a contract with the Packers, kicks a game winner on a beautiful day at Lambeau, and does a Lambeau leap.
Yeah,
what a wild week for him.
Did we ever see Mason Crosby do a Lambeau leap at any point while he was with the team?
I text him. I don't know if he ever did. I will text him and find out.
Certainly not in his first game with the squad.
No, probably not. So in an amazing hold by the punter to get that
shout out Whelan
ball down for McManus to kick. But great win. If you were up in Green Bay yesterday, boy, you soaked it all in. What a beautiful day for football at Lambeau Field. Always good to get a win here on a Victory Monday. It's 11:46 on WTMJ. Adam's got an update to this whole park and ride situation, which is moving forward here. The reduction of the encampment opportunities at park and rides, to put it politely. It's happening. It's after this.
Tune in on Sundays at 10 a.m. for the AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show. Join AccuNet's Brian and David Wickert for the most up-to-date information on mortgage trends, along with timely news on the real estate market. The housing market is in flux, but the national headlines don't often fit local market conditions. Find out what's really happening on the front lines of real estate and mortgage financing in Wisconsin and make better decisions by tuning in every Sunday at 10 a.m. The AccuNet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickert on WTMJ.
Protecting your family's legacy since 1999. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. I want to tell you about Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center. If you're at that point in your life, or maybe your family members are at that point in their lives where you have to start thinking about estate planning or will generation, the folks at Krause Estate Planning make it very easy to work through it. It can be big. It can feel like a heavy sort of thing. Well, not with Krause Estate Planning. They understand how all this works, and they can help protect what you've built and what you've earned. Check out Krause Estate Planning's website. It's estateplanningpeople.com. It's estateplanningpeople.com. They've just opened an office in Brookfield, and they have offices in Madison and just south of Madison in Oregon. Dan is a retired Army veteran with over 20 years experience in the estate planning world. So check out Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center. And if you have specific questions with regard to Medicaid, you can visit SaveMomsAssets.com. Great information with Krause. Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without any major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
When you breathe well, you live better. Find out more at AdventKnows.com.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi!
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Elmbrook Family Dental. Wanted to share something that Dr. Tybel just told me. From now through the end of this year, new Invisalign patients will get $600 off and a new Sonicare toothbrush. They're awesome. The new patient process is so easy. They have 2 beautiful locations in Brookfield and a brand new state-of-the-art office in Wauwatosa. Book now at elmbrookfamilydental.com. That's ELMBROOK familydental.com.
Warm, breezy, and comfortable today. What a day here. 79 degrees, your high, sunny skies to boot. Comfortable tonight as well, a low of 56. Tomorrow we see a high of 71 degrees. Clouds could be rolling in. Very slight chance of a pop-up isolated shower, but otherwise, beautiful day. And we definitely cool off here midweek, up into the mid-60s on Wednesday, upper 50s on Thursday, with a chance of rain in the evening. 73 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:50.
Everybody's kind of scared, but I don't know. I guess we're going to have to help each other out.
Where will they go? A question many are asking today as a deadline has been reached at the Holt Avenue Park and Ride. We'll have more on that question here in just a bit, but first some context, Greg, for what we're talking about right now. If you've driven along I-94 at any point, north and south, in the last basically year, and you've looked over at Holt Avenue or College Avenue where the park-in rides are, you park in and maybe get a bus ride into the city or carpool if that's your mode of transportation, you've likely noticed there have been a lot of RVs and tents that have popped up at both of these park-in rides. For quite a while now, many people who are homeless have been living in these rides. It's served as an encampment for dozens of people. If you go to the Holt lot today, though, you will now encounter barricades, as well as earlier this morning, there were Wisconsin State Patrol cars keeping people and cars out. And you'll also notice now that the lot has been empty. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation made the announcement last Monday they would be closing the Holt Avenue Park and Ride on the 21st, which is today, as well as the Northeast and much of the Southwest College Avenue lots. TMJ4 had Sydney Orr out there at the lot to give a clearer picture of what it was like when the clear out took effect.
Today we were turned around at the entrance by officers that were out front, and they told us to just kind of park somewhere else because no one's allowed inside unless they're going in to pick up some RVs or any other equipment that's still left over inside right now.
TMJ4 Sydney Orr on the scene, and much of this has been spurred by an increasing criminal and drug activity that has happened at the lots. Now, point of procedure here, this is not a catch-all. Not every person who was staying at these lots was engaging in this illegal activity, but it was happening at the lots per the complaints raised by neighbors around the area. According to the DOT, nearly 300 calls for service just in the period from July 1st to September 30th of this year. So now the lot is empty. You cannot get in, and unless you have something to retrieve, you cannot get back out. So it has been closed. Now, a few questions that have to be answered still in the wake of this are, what will happen to that lot? Because as of right now, it's listed as temporarily shut down. But Greg, I know you've seen people do still use these lots. So there are about 8 of them that are now still open across the county. They are used, and this will have to be opened again at some point, you would think.
Well, right. The idea, the spirit of the park and ride is to just do that, right? Park and ride. Meet up with friends. You're going to a game. You're going somewhere together. It's sort of a carpooling opportunity. Maybe you use it for, airport parking, though a little distant. It's an opportunity. But to park and to ride, not to park and live. That's the difference here, right? People are living here, and it's not only unsightly, but it's also proven to be unsafe and disorderly.
So in a statement, the DOT says right now their process is to rework what park and rides look like in the county. That could include reconfiguration as well as monitoring. And that monitoring point leads me to the important question here, which is where will those who were previously living in the lots go now? Because they're not going to suddenly all just have guaranteed housing opportunities for themselves. They're homeless for a reason, and it's not because you choose to be. Many are on wait lists for a very long time trying to find permanent housing. So in the meantime, as we now, despite the warm weather now, are approaching the colder months of the year, where will they go? I reached out to the Milwaukee Street Angels organization, which has, for about the last 8 years, done a lot in terms of getting homeless people food, clothing, as well as housing assistance. I've seen it in my own neighborhood for people who have lived previously at parks near my house. They've gotten people guaranteed housing off of the streets. They were not able to share what the plan is for any of the people. They did not talk to anyone at this particular lot. But it is illegal to camp out at public highways or adjacent rights-of-way. That's the state law. So something has to happen. And as we've mentioned before, it's not like they're suddenly going to have permanent housing. So where they will go still remains to be seen.
Yeah, I got a note in on the text line saying this has been going on for 2 to 3 years, but the spike in reported assaults and thefts and dangerous and unsafe activities, 275 times there have been reports of some sort of behavior that you would, likely be charged for if caught between July and September of this year alone. So according to the Journal Sentinel, that's a 42% increase over that period of time from just over a year. But to our texter's point, it's not like this is brand new.
Right.
But the level of activity with regard to assault, thefts, dangerous and unsafe activities has certainly ramped up.
And this was even attempted to be cleared up earlier this summer. There was a sweep specifically of the Holt lot around June, but it clearly did not completely have people move out of the lot, including, this is Goose, who lives at one of those lots, the Holt one specifically, talking with Channel 4.
They're pushing us out, but where do we go? I don't know what you guys see out there, but we got a lot of pride here. Everybody's kind of scared, but I don't know, I guess we're going to have to help each other out.
So a lot remains to be seen while it is closing day at the Park and Ride. The story is far from over. Now, to the point of the College Avenue lots, if you do use the Southwest lot for transit options, that will still be made available to you. It will be the Northeast lot that is being closed down. And again, this is indefinite, not permanent. So it remains to be seen what will happen with these parking lots as we go forward.
Yeah, we'll stay on it. Appreciate it, Adam. It's 11:56. News is next.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show,
wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
We thought about going out to eat on Saturday, but we were running in 10 different directions, soccer games, playing with friends, doing all that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden it was 5 o'clock, and I was like, well, wait a minute now. I don't know if do we have time to go out for dinner? Well, we do, but one daughter's over here, another daughter's over there. It's like, why don't we just make it simple? Make it delicious. We made it a Palermo's night. Pizza night in our house is always fun. That's because Palermo's is on the table. Screamin' Sicilian, Connie's, urban pie, you name it. Primo Thin is my wife's favorite. Kids love the breakfast pizza as well. We've got one of those in the freezer right now, as a matter of fact. Stop off wherever you like to shop, and you can make it a Palermo's night in your household. Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Piggly Wiggly, Sendik's, Woodman's, wherever you go. You'll find it. It's Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. They've been doing this right for 60 years. That's right, 60 years of making the best frozen pizzas you are going to find. It is Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for the season for over 6 decades. So as you prep for this year's hunt, shop unbeatable deals on supplies to make your trip successful. Like 18-foot big game brand heavy-duty ladder stands, only $149.99. Hit the road with Motor Medic Instant Starting Fluid, just $349. And 5 quarts of Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil start at $22.99 after $5 mail-in rebate. Gear up and save on the hunting supplies you need at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
Between market volatility, inflation, global unrest, and the presidential election, there's a lot going on. Take control with help from Annex Wealth Management. Have a plan built that matches up with your investment and retirement goals. Annex does it as a fee-only fiduciary with unbiased advice. Annex offers financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com, click the Get Started button. It's time to put things in order. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. AnnexWealth.com.
Hey, still time to get in on our Sidex tub and shower conversion contest. That's right, the nasty bathrooms out there. You want to get that fixed? Check this out. Is your shower and tub space looking like it could use an update? Is it horrific? Well, WTMJ and Sidex have paired together again to give away a tub or shower conversion. Your chance to get a full makeover valued at up to $10,000 thanks to Sidex. Here's what you need to do. Take a picture of that nasty shower and tub space. Text the word creepy to the WTMJ Talk and Text line at 855-616-1620. Submit your picture, and there you go. You could win a full conversion from Sidex. For contest rules, check out the website, WTMJ.com.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
When you work at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll be helping us help others. There are many that need our help, and we need your help to carry out our mission. St. Vincent de Paul is always looking for part-time team members. You'll get competitive pay, benefits, and flexibility in scheduling. So apply online at svdpmilw.org or stop by Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, or 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Breaking breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, October 21st. Your top story, homes destroyed and residents displaced after an apartment fire.
I'm Adam Roberts. Updates on the way to American Family Field.
Sunny and warm today. Breezy with a high of 79. Partly cloudy tonight and mild, a low of 56. Mostly cloudy on Tuesday. Spotty chance for a shower. Breezy and a high of 72. 73, full of sun in Milwaukee. At 12:01 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a large fire at an apartment complex in Waukesha draws a response from nearly 100 firefighters on Sunday.
The fire left several units completely destroyed and others with smoke and water damage at West Grove Apartment Complex, a 16-unit building on Kensington Drive near St. Paul Avenue. City of Waukesha Fire Department says one firefighter suffered a minor injury due to overexertion. No residents were injured. One cat was found dead and another pet is unaccounted for. The fire department says the complex did have an alarm system, but no sprinkler system. They're still investigating the cause of the fire, but say it was amplified due to windy conditions on Sunday. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. We've got just over 2 weeks to go until the November election, and Vice President Kamala Harris is back in Wisconsin today, headed to Brookfield, where the VP will be joined once again by former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney. The pair made a visit to the notable birthplace of the Republican Party, that's Ripon, Wisconsin, earlier this month. Tonight's event in Brookfield begins at 7 o'clock.
And what's on the agenda for tomorrow? Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz expected to rally in Racine Tuesday night. He'll deliver remarks at 6:45 at a location to be determined. The stop will follow an afternoon event with former President Barack Obama in Madison at 1:30. Two rallies come on the first day of early voting in Wisconsin.
A House task force looking into the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania in July says it was, quote, preventable, faulting the Secret Service. CBS's Scott McFarland has more.
There was a local police officer who spotted the gunman on the roof with the high-powered assault rifle, who, according to this report, came down yelling, "There's a guy with an AR-15, an AR, a guy with an AR." That message, according to the task force, doesn't seem to have made it to former President Trump's security detail that day.
The task force report says there were, quote, fragmented lines of communication as well as unclear chains of command.
American Family Field getting another facelift. The stadium will receive infrastructure upgrades to the tune of nearly $8.5 million of tourism tax funds. Milwaukee Business Journal senior reporter Rich Kirshen tells WTMJ the project includes improving the seating around the ballpark as well as revamped signage around the stadium.
The signs, you don't think of this as sort of the wayfinding signage within the stadium, has not been updated since Miller Park opened. So they're going to be putting in some new signs, more modern signs.
The Southeast Wisconsin Professional Ballpark District says the project will not be completed prior to next season.
Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. If you just generally follow the majors, and that's what you're focused on, it is a down day for you, as it is a lot of red for the big three. Right now, the Dow off nearly 300 points, down to 42,979, while the NASDAQ is down 10 at 18,479, and the S&P 500 off 18 points this hour at 5,847. Elections have consequences. Is your investment and retirement plan ready for what's next? Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Signing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Here's what Tammy Baldwin thinks about President Trump and you.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob. Vote her out.
I'm Eric Hovde, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
Visit WisconsinVictoryJFC.com to give today. Paid for by Wisconsin Victory Committee.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
I'm Sandy Mex with the Monday Makeover.
Hi, I'm Renee Hitt, and I own the Merle Norman at Brookfield Square.
It's the Halloween season, and what would Halloween be without masks? But I'm not talking about scary masks.
We're talking about facial masks. Masks that you can use at home to take good care of your skin. Every mask has a specific purpose. Mm-hmm. Some people just need a basic maintenance mask, something to deep cleanse and to tighten the skin. Our Miracle Mask is a great mask for that. We've had it in our line for 95 years. Some people have very, very oily skin. And in that case, a clay mask is a really good choice because clay absorbs that excess oil. It also is very good for brightening the skin and for sensitive skin. Now, if you're one of those people that suffer from clogged pores, blackheads, whiteheads, a peel-off charcoal mask is a really good choice. We know that cold weather is coming with the dry heat that we get from our furnaces. So adding a moisture mask once a week or so is going to really rehydrate the skin.
Thanks for joining the Monday Makeover, Renee. Call Merle Norman or book online at mnsalonbrookfield.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update for the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers are now 5-2 following Sunday's 24-22 win over the Texans.
He's got this to win it. Low snap, the kick. It is good!
Jim Nantz with the call on CBS. The third straight win for the Packers. They'll take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Florida on Sunday. Lions and Vikings are both 5-1, tied for the top spot in the NFC North. According to ESPN, Bucs forward Chris Middleton expected to miss Wednesday's regular season opener against the 76ers as he continues to work his way back from offseason ankle surgeries. And the World Series begins Friday in Los Angeles with the Dodgers hosting the New York Yankees.
Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. One incident right now. We have the left shoulder blocked on 41 South. It's in Washington County, right near Highway 60. It's actually just south of that point near Slinger. And it looks like it's on the left shoulder, almost all the way into the middle grass median area underneath the highway. And that's backing up traffic a little bit all the way towards Little Switzerland, if you know the area. So heading south towards the city, you'll be on the brakes a little bit, but once you get to the 41-45 split and head south, you are in good shape. And the rest of the system right now is looking pretty good. No other incidents or delays.
Mostly sunny, very warm today, breezy with a high of 79, partly cloudy tonight and mild, a low of 56. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, spotty chance for a shower, otherwise breezy, and a high of 72. We cool off a little bit on Wednesday, partly cloudy and breezy, and a high of 62 degrees. It is 73 and full of sun. Beautiful day in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Here's Greg Matzik.
Along with Adam Roberts today, Adam in for Jessica. She is off a couple of days this week, back on Wednesday, so Adam filling in, not too far removed from his wedding, by the way. The last time we had you on, we were talking about some preparations and all of that stuff, but finally, a married man here.
Absolutely. If you're watching along on our stream, you can text WATCH 855-616-1620. I have what was my now wife, Dovey's grandfather's wedding band is what I'm wearing, and she is partially as part of a two-tiered ring system for her is wearing her grandmother's, and then a ring that I got from Atrio Studios right here in the 3rd Ward. It was a beautiful ceremony. I should have checked with Tyler Moore to see if we were going to have good fall foliage. It was pretty good, but if we had maybe done it this past weekend, it would have been perfect. But still a very beautiful area. Got married around the Watoma, part of central Wisconsin. An absolutely gorgeous facility. Would definitely recommend anyone check it out. It's a beautiful place to have a wedding.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for filling in for parts of this week. We appreciate that. 12:09, some big stories that we're following here as we flip to the noon hour on a Monday.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, the sprint to November 5th is certainly on here for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Harris will be in 3 battleground states today. not traveling alone either. ABC Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce explains.
15 days to go now, and the Harris campaign is dialing everything up, doing more events, hitting more battlegrounds with more star power. Appearing this past weekend with Stevie Wonder, Usher, and Lizzo. And this week, she'll be out on the trail for the first time alongside the Obamas. Now, today, she's hitting all three of those critical blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. She'll be out with Liz Cheney. The final sprint now on.
Harris expected to touch down in Milwaukee about 5:50 this evening, then make her way to Brookfield for an event. Star power also appearing with Donald Trump. Elon Musk is pledging $1 million a day to voters for signing his political action committee's petition. CBS Libby Cathy reports on the giveaway, and is it legal?
This giveaway is only eligible to registered voters. So Musk offering $1 million a day here on out till the election to voters in battleground states who sign this petition. It's a pro-Trump, pro-Constitution petition. And he says you don't even have to vote. But having that money tied to the petition, having to be registered to be eligible for the giveaway, election experts telling us this is not legal. However, election law does move slow, notoriously slow. So we'll see how this is able to keep up. The governor of Pennsylvania already saying this concerns him, and he's looking into it.
And Trump is scheduled to host a rally, by the way, in North Carolina today.
And we'll have TMJ4 chief political reporter Charles Benson a little later. I'm curious to get his insight into that. I don't know if I've ever heard of $1 million being offered every single day leading up to an election. And of course, it's murky. So I'm curious to get his insight on that.
It's just a day of interest for Elon Musk, right?
I suppose so.
Just interest growth.
Yeah, great day to have Tesla stock, I suppose. Number 2, early voting beginning today in Texas, and it begins tomorrow right here in Wisconsin. So for those who can't make it out to the polls on November 5th, or if you just want to get the voting done beforehand, get it out of the way so you don't maybe forget on the 5th, early voting, as that would suggest, offers the chance to cast your ballots ahead of time. Now, under Wisconsin law, there is no reason required to vote in advance of the November 5th general election date. Lots of locations you can do this across southeast Wisconsin, but hours can vary depending on locations, so you'll need to call your local clerk's office and do a little bit of research. myvote.gov is always a good source for information there. Already over 10 million votes have been cast early, and North Carolina's early voter period, we mentioned Trump in North Carolina today, that's already yielded over 1 million votes ahead of the November 5th date.
Investigation continues today in Georgia after a dock gangway collapsed, killing 7, and they were gathered for a celebration of an historic community built by former slaves. ABC's Faith Abube is on the scene.
The incident happened as hundreds visited the small island community to celebrate the heritage of the Gullah Geechee, descendants of African slaves.
We got almost to the boat, and then I felt it start to slide. The whole ramp fell and collapsed.
Beverly and Irving Jones were among some of the last people to cross the walkway.
We were trying to throw out the life jackets, but the current was so hard it was just taking people away.
Among the deceased victims, Charles Houston, a beloved chaplain.
It's a terrible story here. At least 20 people ended up in the water, and another 20 or so, including DNR staff and Good Samaritans, jumped in to try and save people. Not everyone was saved. Everyone who did enter the water has been accounted for, however. The Georgia Department of Natural Resources in confirming that the gangway was inspected less than a year ago. They're thinking just too much weight, too many people on it forced its collapse, and this horrific event.
You said it best. Absolutely tragic, especially considering it was a gathering for something that was supposed to be a very commemorative event and a moment of celebration. Awful.
Coming up next, we typically chat with MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy. Tim is out on assignment. We've got President Dale Koinga joining us in studio after this.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
The Brewers and the Bucks have been closely watching this Valley Sports parent company because fans want to know how they're going to continue to watch these games.
Entertainment.
Ryan Turek, Vice President of Feature Film Development for Blumhouse.
That movie really connected with audiences because it felt like it could happen to you.
And more every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
Questions you might hear a lot this fall. Will my team make the playoffs? How much snow are we getting this winter? And whatever happened to Tammy Baldwin? After 25 years in D.C., Baldwin sides with the extreme left. Baldwin voted to give nearly $1 billion in COVID relief money to criminals in prison, even the Boston Marathon bomber. That's nuts. And she supports forcing women's domestic violence shelters to admit biological men who claim to be women. Baldwin even backed puberty blockers and sex change surgeries for minor children in Wisconsin. So here's one more question. Now that Baldwin's gone so far left, why should we keep her in the Senate? It's time to replace Tammy Baldwin. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Losing your independence and moving out of your home. It's one of the greatest fears seniors have. What are your most difficult challenges? Daily chores, transportation, loneliness from the loss of friends and family? Seniors Helping Seniors has been serving Southeast Wisconsin for over a decade, specializing in in-home care, catering to your specific needs. Having someone who also acts as a companion will enhance your mental and emotional health and help keep you where you want to be. In-home care for seniors by seniors. Contact Seniors Helping Seniors Waukesha today.
Beautiful day today. Enjoy it, soak it in. Sunny and 79 breezy conditions, but very nice day today. Summer-like conditions with fall-like color. Can't beat that. Tonight, mild temperatures at a low of 56 degrees. Tomorrow, we stay in the 70s. Some clouds do roll in, and there's a slight chance for a spotty shower or so. Otherwise, breezy and a high of 71. 76 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12-16. Dale Koinga is the president of the MMAC, in for Tim Sheehy today after a fun-filled fall weekend. He said it was homecoming, and he went to the Packers game yesterday. You really soaked it all in.
Oh, volleyball games and basketball games, too. It was great. And the colors outside. I went on a bike ride on Lake Country bike path the other day. And just the colors outside right now is like swimming through a Monet painting.
Is it Monet or Monet? I always get them confused.
Monet.
Well, there's both. There's a Manet and a Monet, of course. Well, hey, let's talk with some things involving MPS here. I want to start with the WIAA, which informed two Milwaukee City Conference schools that they're done, really, essentially forfeiting the rest of their season, a 2-year ban on postseason play for Milwaukee Bayview and Milwaukee Pulaski. And the direction of the arrow is being pointed to some clerical errors, if you want to call it that, with Bobby Kelsey, athletic director, overseeing all of this. How did we get to this point, right? I mean, it's like a game of whack-a-mole for MPS right now, and these student athletes now have to pay the price.
Well, MPS continuously, pun intended, has red flags thrown at it. It started off this year by the federal government saying you guys aren't doing Head Start right and clawing back millions of dollars. Then it was the State Department of Public Instruction who said you guys aren't filling out reports. We're tired of you missing deadlines. They're pulling back tens of millions of dollars. And then the red flag thrown on this, the WIA. So I think this is a good story. It shows the consequences of just not getting your house in order and how it's unfortunately for these students. I think it's an egregious penalty by WIA. That's the side. But my bigger point on this is that we are rightfully angered by the position these players are in because the paperwork wasn't filled out correctly, and so they can't compete on the playing field. But the bigger story to me is that with 35% of students not graduating high school in MPS and only 10% proficient in math and reading, the bigger story should almost be on a weekly basis, which says MPS is producing tens of thousands of kids that are not able to compete in the playing field of life, which is more important than the sports story.
Dale, it's interesting. As young adults, my wife and I, we live in Milwaukee, and so we are going to start making decisions about the future, our trajectory for our lives. And I know the city is always trying to grow, bring people in. In your opinion, is a lack of faith in the public school system the biggest inhibitor this city faces in terms of long-term growth? I know crime could be something that people would bring up, affordability, but in terms of having actual families come into the city, is this the biggest inhibitor? Would you say just the district mismanagement?
Yes, and it's not my feeling. This is based on polling. So when you poll individuals as far as why they moved out of the city in the phase of life, as far as starting to have kids, the school system is number one. Now, there are good schools in Milwaukee Public Schools, the South Rufus King, Ronald Reagan. Those are magnet schools. I always say, how do you spell school choice backwards? It's those schools select the students not only select them. And we also have schools like Aug Prep, Milwaukee Academy of Sciences, you go down the list. But a lot of those schools, you have to be in poverty in order to qualify, or you have to write a big check to schools like Marquette High School or DSHA if you want to stay in the city. So, yeah, it brings a lot of people out to the suburbs as opposed to retaining those families in the city.
In terms of outcomes, we've not seen a steady growth in outcomes, but we have seen a steady growth in spending, right? With referendum and so on, of course, a hot button issue. There's probably too many buildings that are open right now that MPS has its name on. Consolidation will also, I think, go a long way. But what is step one in all this, right? I mean, is it leadership accountability? How do you grow outcomes of students as these things have been consistently on the decline?
Well, step one is multifaceted, but I think the biggest step you could take is a governance change in Milwaukee Public Schools. And so if you look at that board, the board it's a multi-billion-dollar organization, and there's no one on that board who has any financial acumen. There's no one on that board who really understands the science and reading. There's no one on that board who really understands the hard act of discipline and accountability. And it's really run by the Milwaukee Teachers Union. And you see that because that's the stakeholder that they're serving. So the governance changes have to happen in Milwaukee Public Schools. Also, what you're seeing is you are very I think in the short term here, what you're going to see is a majority of kids in Milwaukee not be part of Milwaukee Public Schools. Right now, it's at 54%. 54% of kids in Milwaukee attend Milwaukee Public Schools. 46% attend other charter schools or private schools with a voucher. I believe you're going to see that past that 50% mark in the next 24 months.
Significant growth here for a Waukesha-based company. I see that Husco has announced $200 million in contracts, and they're set to hire 250 employees, many of which will be in Wisconsin. Not all, but many of which.
Yeah, well, it's just another sign that manufacturing is not dead here. Manufacturing is quite the opposite. It's alive and well for a lot of companies. So Husco is a great company. What I really like about Husco, many different things. They take their talent acquisition and retention very seriously and recruit engineers and individuals working on the floor. But also, just as a reminder, Husco is growing their business and they're investing in our community. So business success is community success because Aug Prep is largely funded by Husco, which funds the Ramirez Family Foundation, which helps support the Aug Prep campus on the south side. And now they're transforming the old Cardinals Church campus into a north side campus. So it's great to see a company that cares so much about our community be doing well and growing.
Yeah, it was Gus Ramirez who kind of was the backbone of that company, and now son Austin has sort of taken it and run with it.
Yeah, it's a great story. Gus was kind of in the consulting world and saw the company said, I think we could do something differently here. And I'm making a much longer story short, and really took that company to a new level. And then Austin took the company over a while ago, and it's just a great family affair. And by the way, his sister, Abby, and Gus's daughter is the head of schools principal at Aug Prep. Yeah. So a great family effort to just do great things for the community.
So let me tie up what we started with what we've sort of concluded here. Aug Prep as a competitor to MPS, right? I mean, you're introducing another prep school to the mix here. Another school is part of a choice that parents can make if they want to send their kids to receive an outstanding education.
If they can afford to.
Is that competition?
Well, most of the kids will be qualified for vouchers. So if you're at 400% of poverty, then you get a voucher. If you're above that, you got to write a check. So, and I think the school will have a mix of both, which is healthy and good for many different reasons. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this at MMAC as a board, and that is, do we want to put our political capital into wholesale change of MPS in the board? And we're interested in supporting efforts along those routes. But we see the biggest bang for the buck in the short term is supporting schools that are today changing the trajectory of kids and actually could add capacity to scale up to do more of it. And Aug Prep falls in that category. So we want to see equal funding for school. Right now, a child in Aug Prep, for example, only gets $9,900 from the state, where MPS is approaching over $20,000. Now, we don't think that the voucher program should support $20,000, but we do believe it should support the statewide average for public school students, was about $12,500. So we'll be putting some of our efforts in Madison to saying, hey, a kid's a kid, a kid. We should fund our kids more equally. Regardless of if they go to a public school, a charter school, which is a different form of public school, or a voucher.
MMAC President Tim almost called you Timmy there. Dale Koinga with us.
I've been called much worse than Tim.
That's fair. I'm Wisconsin's Midday News. Before we let you go, Dale, there's an interesting story out of Ohio that you brought to our attention, and it concerns young people. We've been talking a lot about younger people on this segment. And as we know, housing costs, that's another thing I'm kind of exploring right now myself, is pretty crushing at the moment, as well as student loan debt. But there's something interesting going on in Ohio that could be potentially teaching people about economic mobility, moving up on the ladder a bit.
Yeah, so the article that you're referencing is a story about it's a pretty typical county in America. The average income there, household income is $73,000, in America is $75,000. But what is striking about this county is it had the fastest growth of economic mobility, of people going from poor to middle class. And what it talks about is the correlation. This is a big, big Amish community. And it was the Amish community that has seen this incredible economic mobility. Now, this is a whole private dissertation, but I feel very strongly about it. Let me try to see if I can sum it up very quickly. And that's the concept of social capital. And so what happens in communities is that when you know each other and you trust each other, like we know each other, so I could actually have a conversation with you. We could do business together. We could talk about, hey, would you give my kids a ride? I'm into buying, whatever it is, because we have social capital, right? That's different than financial capital. It's a little bit different than political capital. And a lot of economic mobility is the ability to have trust and faith in a relationship where, like, I could give you a loan because I could look at your finances, but I just know you're a good guy and I know you're good for it, right? And so when you talk about this economic mobility, I think that's a key thing. What we do at MMAC is putting people together, fostering relationships. Those relationships build trust. Trust actually forms a type of fuel for economic growth. And so this is a much deeper dive in this article, but I think it really highlights the power of social capital and the importance of our institutions, from our churches to our schools to our businesses, and just the power of having people having relationships, which translates into political capital, which translates into economic growth.
Really interesting stuff. Dale Koinga, president of the MMAC. Always happy to see you, Dale. Thanks for stepping in.
Thank you. Enjoy the weather.
You bet. It's 1226 on WTMJ.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I drove by the Hounds and Tap yesterday in Menominee Falls. Man, it was a great day to watch some football. That's what people were doing. They had a barbecue food truck set up and a lot of happy pups walking around, a lot of happy folks watching the game as well. Absolutely. It was a great game and a great day. If you want to hang out at the Hounds and Tap with your dog, you can do it. The Hounds and Tap has doggy daycare, doggy boarding, and grooming services right there on site for you. It is a one-stop shop. Also, hang out with your pup and catch a drink, watch a game, and enjoy just socializing while your dog does the same thing. It's the Hounds and Tap, designed for dogs in Menominee Falls, 12,500 square feet facility. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful place run by wonderful people, professionally trained dog handlers working at the Hounds and Tap. So join them and visit thehoundsandtap.com. Check out their Facebook page if you'd like. You'll see dozens of pictures of happy dogs who are part of doggy daycare or doggy boarding. Hey, your dog's going to dig it. Mine does. It's the Hounds and Tap. Visit thehoundsandtap.com.
We've found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semper Fi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what always faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Siding is what pops on your home.
Clean lines, beautiful accents, and wonderful colors can make your home really look amazing. Homeowners are always looking to add curb appeal when buying new siding, and a well-installed product from Siding Unlimited will definitely deliver a grand appeal. There is so much more to gain from replacing your siding other than the curb appeal you're already seeking. There is so much value in having new siding with low maintenance. Just an annual cleaning with the hose is all you really need to do. You can't get much lower maintenance than that. The process of replacing siding gives homeowners a fresh start, a new understanding knowing that we can peel back the old stuff and get a real in-depth inspection on the walls on your home and the structural integrity. How has the home performed over the past 20 years? We'll see it all when removing the old siding. There's a high percentage your home is missing the most important factor in siding a home, and that's a working water barrier. Many homes built in the 1990s and prior don't have a water barrier beneath the siding, and homes that were built in the 90s that do have one probably have a water barrier that was installed incorrectly. New siding replacement assures us that we install the water barrier correctly and protect the home moving forward. Our process always includes adding insulation board to the wall. This gives you a water barrier underlayment and additional R value, which is an energy coefficient, so warmer walls, adding more value to the project than the expected curb appeal. As the new siding goes back on, we know your home will be ready to manage water well into the future and look amazing doing so.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for siding and also replacement windows, roofing, and decks. Take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
It's 12:31. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, October 21st. Your top story, a robbery suspect still on the loose.
I'm Adam Roberts, shutting down the Holt Avenue Park and Ride.
Mostly sunny today, warm and breezy, a high of 79. Partly cloudy and mild tonight, a low of 56. Cloudy, spotty chance for a shower on Tuesday, breezy and a high of 72. 73 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:31. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, 2 students are safe after an armed robbery near Marquette. The incident happened just after 9 o'clock Sunday evening near 16th and State. A male suspect approached 2 Marquette female students, displayed a weapon, and demanded their wallets. The suspect then took both girls' backpacks and fled. No one was injured. Marquette police are looking for an African-American male in his mid-20s or early 30s, about 5 feet 10 inches tall, last seen wearing a gray sweatshirt, gray sweatpants, and a black ski mask.
Felony charges have been filed after a death at a flag football game in Milwaukee. 30-year-old Gavino Avalos Morales of Milwaukee made his first appearance in court today, facing multiple charges, including first-degree reckless homicide using a dangerous weapon. Those charges stem from a shooting during a youth flag football game at South Stadium on October 12th, where a 41-year-old man died from gunshot wounds. Cash bond for Morales is set at $250,000.
The Holt Avenue Park and Ride on Milwaukee's south side officially closed, and several homeless people living in tents and RVs will now have to find another place to live. The Department of Transportation says an increase in crime and drug activity is leading to the closures. The Northeast College Avenue lot and portions of the Southwest College Avenue lot will close soon after today. A small area of the Southwest College Avenue lot will remain open to serve transit riders.
A Milwaukee attorney will spend the next year and a half roughly in federal prison after failing to pay nearly $2.5 million in taxes. Milwaukee Business Journal senior reporter Rich Kirchen tells WTMJ Eric Lenzen had been a rising star at Hush Blackwell.
He had left the firm some time ago, but this is a tax case with the IRS that goes back to his days with that law firm. He also, as part of his sentence, will be required to pay restitution for those unpaid taxes plus penalties and interest.
Court records indicate Lenzen failed to pay income taxes between 2016 and 2021 despite spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a lavish lifestyle. In his ruling, the judge noted Lenzen had several opportunities to pay back his debt to the government.
Overdose deaths are going down.
Nationwide, drug overdose deaths fell more than 12.5% in the 12 months ending in May, that according to the CDC. The drop is noticeable in areas of Wisconsin, too. Kenosha County Medical Examiner Patty Hall told a county committee hearing last week.
Our autopsy numbers have actually gone down significantly.
What's the reasoning? Well, Kenosha County Public Health Director Lori Plamer credits Narcan.
One of the elements to the decrease in overdoses was a significant saturation of Narcan.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
The Kenosha News reports the number of autopsies in the county next year is also expected to decrease as well.
Sports, traffic, and weather are on the way next. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
It's spooky season, and we've conjured up monster deals at Heiser. Don't let your money-eating nightmare ride haunt you any longer. At Heiser, it's all treats and no tricks. Trade in and upgrade to a new truck, perfect for hauling spooky decorations, taking those holiday road trips, or carting home all that candy. Whether it's new or used, our wickedly good deals on Chevy, Toyota, and Ford trucks will give you the chills. Stop in or shop online. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
It's bird bashing season when you swoop into Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to a wicked 50 grand cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card all October for entries. All Bird Bash entries go towards a December 20th giveaway with a monstrous 300 grand in prizes. Bird Bash makes its bewitching return. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at paysbig.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContractingWI.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? Tri-County Contracting at WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out-of-pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers are now 5-2 following Sunday's 24-22 win over the Houston Texans. Third straight win for the Packers. They head to Jacksonville to face the Jaguars on Sunday. Both the Lions and Vikings are 5-1, tied for the lead in the NFC North. According to ESPN, Milwaukee Bucks forward Chris Middleton expected to miss Wednesday's regular season opener against the 76ers as he continues to rehab from offseason ankle surgeries. And the World Series gets underway Friday in Los Angeles with the Dodgers taking on the New York Yankees.
Taking a look at the roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We have a fresh crash right now, and it is on 894 heading east. The right lane blocked right near Forest Home due to a crash. Already tight there due to the construction earlier this year and the tight barriers around. So we got backup stretching all the way right now to the Hale. So be mindful as you're heading east. It'll be a bit slow. Once you get past Forest Home, though, you are in good shape. Same cannot be said on 41 North right now, all the way in Washington County, where we're still working on clearing up this broken down vehicle that's in the median heading southbound. And we've got backup stretching from about Highway 60 all the way north to Kettle Moraine Drive, Highway 144, Slinger area. So be mindful, it'll be a slow go as you head past Little Switzerland, down past Highway 60. Then once you're over to 4145 where it splits, you are in good shape. The rest of the system overall looking pretty good.
Enjoy the day today. Sunny, breezy, and warm at a high of 79 degrees. Tonight, mild with a low of 56. Clouds roll in tomorrow. Just a slight chance of a spotty rain shower or so. Otherwise, breezy and a high of 71. We cool off on Wednesday with a high of just 64 degrees. 76 and full of sun in Milwaukee at 12:38. Well, he's always full of sunshine. He is TMJ4's chief political reporter, Charles Benson, joining us on a beautiful afternoon. Hello, Charles.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey,
how are things?
Great. Thanks for joining us. So I definitely wanted your expertise and opinion and how things shape up here over the next 15 days. We're going to do regular check-ins with you, Charles, through the election here weekly. But we are 15 days away. There's been so much focus on battleground states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. been sort of a round robin with the top of the ticket going in and out of those states. And then here's Kamala Harris hitting all three in one day.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. You'll like this analogy. Think about it. We've had this election season going on. You can date it all the way back to January of this year. I like to think now we're really getting into the playoffs. Really, this final determination is who's going to win this election on November 5th. And just look at the schedule right now. You've got Vice President Harris in town today. You have former President Barack Obama with Tim Walz, Harris's running mate, tomorrow. You had J.D. Vance here in Waukesha yesterday. So it's playoff time. The intensity of this election season just picks up another notch or two. And I'll even draw it a little bit more differently here. Imagine now we're down to a World Series type event, the best of 7. You can make an analogy of who wins the best of the 7 states. And I'm talking about the battleground states. Most people, when they're looking at the battleground states, it comes down to North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. Then you have what they call the blue wall, right? Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Now, I'm going to get into the weeds a little bit here with you, so bear with me. In 2020, when Biden won, he carried the blue wall. He carried Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin. In 2016, when Donald Trump won, he knocked down that blue wall. He carried Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. So that's why those three states have become really, really important. But I mentioned there are 7 battleground states. If you concede that point, and you'll concede with me that if you give all the other blue states that Biden won in 2020 to Harris, and all the other red states to Donald Trump that he won in 2020, you now have Harris up at this point by about 5 electoral votes. Are you still with me?
Absolutely. Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, so you have to get to 270. Well, that 4 out of 7, and I'm not talking predictions here, I'm just talking possibilities. If Trump takes 4 out of 7, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, he's 2 electoral votes short. Now you look at the blue wall. If he just takes 1, he's in. But if Harris takes all 3, she gets to 270 and she wins. This is why people play fantasy football. I play fantasy electoral maps, right? So that's just one scenario. It can go a lot of different ways, but that's just one way of looking at it. It's not a prediction. It's a possibility. So that's why you're seeing them in these battleground states again and again and again.
He's the most fun guy at the Political Watch Party. TMJ4 political reporter, chief political reporter Charles Benson with us on Wisconsin's Midday News. So, Charles, I caught 60 Minutes last night because I knew they were going to be airing a piece about a county in Wisconsin that is very interesting politically. It's Door County, if you know the thumb of Wisconsin, if you do the hand guide to what our state looks like, which has collectively voted for the winner of each presidential election dating back to the 2000 election. So everyone this century. If you put it into your political eyes, what role, as far as Wisconsin, do you think Door County plays in this election cycle, and do they get it right again?
Well, that is interesting, because they were blue in 2020 and red in 2016, but narrowly. We often don't think of Door County, right, as that sort of pivotal place that really speaks for where Wisconsin could stand in an election, because it's sort of a tourist area along the lakefront there, and so we don't often look at it as a bellwether county. I know there are a few others out there as well that kind of do that, but look, in Wisconsin, when you do the math, you look at Milwaukee and Dane counties for Democrats, right? Those are powerhouse counties, and so far, we've seen about 300,000 people vote in Wisconsin. Early voting, that's by absentee mail-in ballots. Tomorrow, the game changes again. That's when in-person absentee voting begins, and we may see perhaps a surge in people voting in person starting tomorrow, as we did in some of the other battleground states. That happened in Georgia. That happened in North Carolina. And that's why former President Barack Obama will be here in Wisconsin tomorrow to start talking more about get out the vote, get out there and vote now. Don't wait till November 5th. By the way, former President Trump and J.D. Vance yesterday, they're talking about that too. That's different than what we saw in 2020. They did not put a lot of faith in early voting. This time around, they are all in, as they say, the Republican Party and these candidates saying, look, go vote early if you can. So all of this now really kicks up another notch starting tomorrow with in-person voting. But which county will determine the outcome? I'm not sure, because when you look at the map on election night, you see a lot of red. I mean, Trump can take somewhere close to 60 counties, but those 12 or 13, we have 72. So if he gets 60 of those counties, he still may not win because of the big numbers that come out of Milwaukee and Dane counties, as we saw in 2020.
Yeah, the early voting thing I think is interesting, Charles, because I don't remember the first state that launched into early voting, but I also don't remember a big deal being made about it, other than it was just sort of a topical thing to mention. But now that you've seen record turnout in states with early voting, it seems like both the candidates are really jumping into it. All signs point to an immense turnout from voters this season, maybe a record turnout. Does that favor one candidate over the next?
See, this is where I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, because when you watch the polling, you look at the polling, and not just one, but you take the averages. You know, this race is really razor thin in a lot of these battleground states. So how well do the polls, and I wouldn't want to be in the polling business right now, are they finding those voters who maybe are voting for the first time or have changed from one candidate to the other or aren't saying where they are voting in 2024? But early voting, while it has been influential in Wisconsin, certainly 2020, but that was a pandemic year. So it was really a different scenario. We had nearly 2 million people in Wisconsin vote by absentee out of 3.3 million was about the total in 2020. So far, the pace of early voting by absentee isn't on the same level as 2020, but I'm waiting to see how that looks starting tomorrow with in-person. So look, yes, it does seem like we're going to have a big voter turnout, but that's where I'm sort of waiting to see what the numbers will look that night. It does have all the indications, given what both sides are doing. Get out the vote, the ground game, knocking on doors. How many flyers have you gotten in the mail, right, to get out and vote? So they are very much out in front trying to get people to vote.
And speaking of getting out the vote, Charles, I wanted to get your insight on the news surrounding Elon Musk and his $1 million a day giveaway up until the election through those who signed his Political Action Committee, or PAC's, petition that they believe in the Constitution. So the question revolves on, is this even legal? We've heard Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro questioning the practice, but he did not outright say it's illegal and must be stopped. So take us in a little bit on the legality around this and the navigating that has to happen for it to happen.
Well, certainly headline grabber, right? I saw that as well. Wow, $1 million. And so there are rules, there are guidelines on how much you can motivate voters to get to the polls. And it's usually just by policy issues, getting them there. There isn't some incentive, financial reward to get people to either sign up or to vote. So that's why I am curious as well, what will be the fallout, what will be the outcome of this, because different states have different rules on sort of electioneering, right? We know when you go vote on election day, you can't show up wearing signs, or politicians can't show up wearing signs and advocating at the polls to get out and vote for one side or the other. We know that those rules exist. So I'm curious about where this goes after he made those big headlines yesterday.
Definitely big headlines, no doubt about that. A lot of football being soaked in by Donald Trump yesterday. J.D. Vance in Green Bay attending a watch party. And, of course, Battleground Blitz is on for the top of both tickets. TMJ4 Chief Political Reporter Charles Benson. Charles, we'll check it again with you next Monday. Get some rest. Stay hydrated.
All right. Yep, thanks. Bye.
You bet. Take care. Charles, the best in the business here covering politics locally and nationally. 1248 on WTMJ.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. If you got a busted garage door, you check in with Geis, and they will get you back in the game. Of having some issues with mine, as a matter of fact. I think I need to make a call to Geis. Well, there you go. Just make that one call, and they'll help you out. It's Geis Garage Doors. Brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock. Tons of doors and openers ready for you at their showroom in Brookfield. That could mean a very quick turnaround time for your project. Geis can also help with the custom route if your project requires it. They'll do wood doors, they'll do the standard doors, whatever you need for swift and reliable garage repair solutions. Visit GeisDoors.com. Stop by their showroom in Brookfield or have them come out by you. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit GeisDoors.com.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With shorter days in the forecast, brighten up now with top-quality lighting and ceiling fans at unbeatable prices. At our award-winning showroom, you'll see our new display of Visual Comfort brand lighting along with their newest LED lights and ceiling fans. We carry every major brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturdays from 10 to 4. We're located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Those who don't have 20/20 vision usually do something about it. But many who can't breathe freely through their nose just live with it, not realizing they can have 20/20 breathing. At Advent, we're out to change that. With 20/20 breathing, you'll have fewer sinus infections, more energy, you'll sleep better, and you will live better. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. In 2006, Advent pioneered the balloon sinuplasty procedure. And since, thousands of our patients can tell you, this simple 20-minute in-office solution really works. Balloon sinuplasty can give you 20/20 breathing so you can breathe freely through both nostrils with your mouth closed day and night. And that can change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Well, the competition is over. The 9th annual competition hosted by Johnson Financial Group and the WMC, the coolest thing made in Wisconsin. The competition is over, and there is a winner.
This year's winner is Jolly Good. Congratulations.
I thought there'd be more excitement out of the announcement, but the winner is Jolly Good. Congratulations to Jolly Good for winning the 2024 Coolest Thing Made in Wisconsin competition.
At Jolly Good, we believe in quality, but we also believe in value. We want you to get your money's worth. That's why you'll usually find a lower price on Jolly Good soda, lower than any other canned soda. Next time, take a good look at the price. For flavor and value, Jolly Good's got it.
Yeah, that's a commercial out of 1979. So over 130 products were nominated for this year's competition. And it is what you would think it is. It's cool products made in Wisconsin. And then there's a whole vote, and there's over 1.5 million votes since this whole competition debuted about 9 years ago. So people go ahead and vote, and they ultimately determine a winner. Do you know the story of Jolly Good, though?
A little bit, but for those who don't, it is quite an interesting one.
So I was fascinated about this. So Jolly Good was sort of a part of my childhood.
Mine as well.
And if I remember it right, it was just sort of for lack of a better term, kind of a generic discount soda. Like it wasn't Coke or Pepsi.
Right. Kind of like in the same class as RC, almost, if you will.
Yeah, and then they had a cola, but it wasn't Coke or Pepsi. And then they had all these crazy flavors, the grape and the sour power and all that kind of stuff.
Personal favorite.
So Jolly Good is produced by Career Foods, and this company dates back to 1913, and they have roots in food preservation. So think along the lines of canned beets and corn and beans and soups and things like that. Well, Career started the Jolly Good brand in the 70s in the town of Belgium.
At Jolly Good, we believe in quality.
Hence the commercial
but we also
here.
believe in value.
Eventually, the big soda companies sort of snuffed out Jolly Good, right? And they finally went off of the shelves back in 2007. So pretty good run for a discount soda brand. But in 2013, Jolly Good came back, but they had an entirely different marketing strategy. 2013 was sort of the advent of the word craft when it comes to food items and especially different beverages.
Exactly.
Right? Beers, sodas, you name it. So Jolly Good relaunched under the specialty craft soda category, and now you can find Jolly Good in Sendix or fine grocery stores, especially here locally, and sales have been rock solid. So it was kind of this right turn away from discount or off-brand into the world of craft and specialty that has put Jolly Good back on the shelves and thriving and doing well. We've got 2 cans of cream soda in our beverage fridge at home.
Yep, and I've mentioned I have the Sour Power. When I'm down at Pick and Save, I'll get it, and I've always loved Sour Power. Again, it's my personal favorite, whether or not it's discount or not. This is an all-American, all-Wisconsin success story.
It's great. I'm big on the Sour Power, too. To me, I like a sour old-fashioned, so to me, that's a nice addition to a whatever and whatever sour old-fashioned.
See, I like to replace get rid of 7-Up when I'm sick. Give me a Sour Power and a bowl of chicken noodle soup, maybe a little spruced up. I know we're past Campbell's at this point. Doesn't really do much for me. But Sour Power, honestly, Adam Roberts' home remedy cure tool number 1.
Good to know. Congrats to Jolly Good for winning the competition. Good stuff. Congrats to you for checking out our show today. We congratulate all of us.
Good job.
Very nice job. We're back again tomorrow. Adam in for Jessica. News is next, followed by Spanning the State here on WTMJ.
Miss any of the truth on WTMJ?
I'm representing the bull.
Maybe there's something wrong with me.
Catch the podcast wherever you get your podcasts and catch up on moments like this.
John, if you wanted to come on the show, all you had to do, you didn't have to make Biden quit to come on the show.
And listen to The Truth on WTMJ every Sunday from 7 until 9 with Dr. Ken Harris and Denise Thomas, right here on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, Greg Nancy here from Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac at the SUV season sales event going on right now. That means a great time for you to gear up for fall and winter driving. Get more Mazda for your money, get more for your trade, and score enticing offers. Hey, well-qualified buyers lock in finance rates as low as 0% on all-wheel drive favorites, including the Mazda CX-5, the CX-30, the off-road ready Mazda CX-50, or how about the roomy and responsive 3-row Mazda CX-90? They even have a plug-in hybrid. In fact, I'm driving one of those right now. Super comfortable, a lot of fun to drive as we work on our next deal after a deer smashed into my other car, which I found at Holiday. Nonetheless, connect with Team Holiday and discover the stuff that makes fans of drivers from all over the place, including me. I've been a customer for about 10 years at Holiday. Thousands of others have been as well. Exceptional guest care, Holiday's fun and simple, pressure-free way of doing things really stands out. Check it out. Discover the difference for yourself. Treat yourself to a test drive. Find yours. Drive it home today from Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer. It's Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. Visit holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel, inviting you on an unforgettable 2025 European journey. Travel in style, embrace beauty, and create memories with new friends as you visit our favorite destinations, including Ireland, Italy, Germany, France, Switzerland, Poland, Croatia, and more. Whether it's your first or your 10th time visiting Europe, you don't want to miss out on our expertly crafted group tours with Insight Vacations, Globus, or Avalon Waterways. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Let's explore the world together.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Don't look now, but the leaves are turning and fall is here. If there are still yard projects on your to-do list, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here to tell you there is still time. Maybe you're looking to enhance